Oh, don't get a credit card. It'll deceive you. You know, don't do this. Okay, like I'll be like, hey, how's it going? So did you see my Venmo request? Oh yeah, I saw. You know, yeah, you saw it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Blossom Taiwo. Thanks for coming. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff you gotta do. Today we'll be talking about how I was able to save $20,000 by the time I was 21 years old. First things first, if you're trying to save any amount of money, whether $100 or $100,000, you need to set goals. You need to prioritize and you need to be disciplined. First, it all starts in the mind, and then you take the actions to make your dreams a reality, right? So before I get into how I specifically saved $20,000, I want to give you guys a few tips and tricks about how to save your money and about how to make your money kind of stretch a little bit more. So there's 3 tips and tricks that I would highlight for y'all. 1 is a credit card. 2 is a savings account. 3 is investing. Credit cards can give you cash back, they can give you rewards, things that you spend every single month. So instead of spending the $50 on gas for 1 month and that's just gone, you can spend $50 and then with a credit card, you spend $50 and then you get the points. So then those points accumulate, add up, and then boom, you can get like a $10 gift card to Starbucks or something, and that's $10 you didn't have before otherwise, right? If you just paid cash. So I would highly suggest a credit card. Like, if you're responsible with your money, you should definitely get a credit card. I think that their issue, like African parents and most first-gen parents in general, their kind of hesitation comes from a lot of credit card companies, I think in the 90s, being really predatory towards college students and making them sign these things that they didn't even know what the heck was going on. So you'd be locked into all these credit card fees and new credit cards, lines of credit, free money, and then 5 years later you owe $50,000, and it's like, how did that happen? You know, for a savings account, I would specifically recommend a high yield savings account. It just means that instead of the normal interest rates that like Bank of America or Chase Bank will give you, which is like a 0.001% return. Basically, if you're saving like $1,000, you won't even get $1, right? Because that's 1%. And it's 0.0001% or whatever the crazy number is. It's like dumb. But for a high yield savings account, it's a higher yield. So the money that you have will accumulate more interest. A lot of high yield savings accounts now, because of coronavirus, have lowered it. Usually the APY or the interest rates would be about 2%, but now they're like super low, like 1.3%. And that's not the best, but it's definitely better than the 0.0001% that you get at your average bank. So if you're trying to save $10,000 and this month you have $1,000 and it's about a 1.3% APY, chances are you get about $13 back, which is not a lot, but it's definitely something, right? That your money is growing without you having to do anything. And that's also very simplified because it doesn't take into account compound interest, but I'll get into that later. Number 3, I would definitely say investing. I personally use Robinhood because it's a free investment app. If you sign up, you can get 1 free stock, and that's like a share of a company. So if you have 1,000 pieces of a company, you get 1 piece for free, and that's usually valued at it's valued up to $1,000. I think I've gotten some. The most I've gotten, I think, was like $50, which isn't bad at all, because that's like, if I were to cash that out, that's literally free money that I'm just doing. And I wouldn't suggest you just go dabble in the stock market and just selling and trading and doing whatever you gotta do. I would definitely take some research and invest your money. But for me, I know I made very sizable returns, and that helped me achieve my goal of the 20K. So let's get into how I made the money. I wanted to make sure I'm as detailed as possible. So if you see me looking down, I am looking at my notes. As an AV technician, I worked there for 4 years, all 4 years of college. So I got about $12. I worked about 10 hours per week, about 100 weeks, give or take some summers, give or take some semesters, you know, that it would work and would not work. It's all average. And I grossed about $12,000. For my school specifically, thankfully, we weren't taxed. I'm not a Maryland resident, So I think non-Maryland residents weren't allowed to get taxed like that. I did an internship where I got paid $19 an hour. I would highly recommend internships. It was about 40 hours a week for 10 weeks in the summer. It was a pretty cool thing, and like it helped me know what career I should navigate into. That was taxed heavy. My gross was $7,600. After that, a little over $6,000. I was a research assistant for a semester. My pay rate was $15, 4 hours a week, for 5 weeks. This is the semester between fall and spring for my school specifically. So that people do all these little things that you wouldn't normally get to do in a semester. So fortunately for me, I was able to do research and get paid for it. That one I got $300, again not taxed. I was also a study consultant. That means I helped underclassmen get their kind of life together, organize things like that. That was about $10 an hour, 4 hours per week, 22 weeks, about $900. I helped out with a business plan competition. That was about $15. That was only 2 hours per week for 10 weeks. And that was $300, again, untaxed. $500 for miscellaneous because I would do a lot of studies. My school was really research heavy, so I would go to a lot of studies and have them test this, test that. I'll perform little tasks or whatever and get paid $20, $30, $40. And I did that like pretty frequently, maybe 2 to 3 times per semester. And so that's how I saved a lot of money, guys. I was able to save $20,000 by the time I was 21. Put 80% of this in a high yield savings, and I was only allowed to spend 20% of it. I did have some money saved up going into college. So fortunately for me, I used kind of that and my 20% of all of this income to be discretionary and things like that, and kind of just save up a little bit. I'm gonna go over how I was able to retain my money. I was able to say no. I limited myself to specific activities. And 3, I wasn't afraid to ask for my money. Just learn how to say no. Because there's always some party, there's always some kickback, there's always some this, that, and the third. You don't have to go. You don't have to go. I did try to make a thing in my head saying like, okay, I'll try to go X amount of times a semester. Is this the party I want to go spend that maybe like 5 times a semester on? Yes. And I think it was easier for me, I will say, because I went to a school that was not very fun. It was real boring. So there was nothing to do no ways. Like, on the off chance that I did go out with friends, I would be the one to pay for Ubers. Right then and there, I would request my Venmo. I did not do the Lyft and the Uber split thing because that's an extra 25 cents, and I think per person. And although it doesn't seem like much, for me I was super frugal, so it's like 25 cents. 4 people, that's $1. 8 people, that's $2. And that's $10 after maybe a semester. And it's like $10 I could have saved or spent somewhere else. You know what I mean? And it's, again, might not be that deep, but if you're trying to save money, like, you gotta count, you gotta make sure every single dollar is accounted for. And so when I set this goal, every dime, every nickel, every penny, every dollar, I made sure that if I gave it to you at one time to split for some reason, you better come and return it. And so that's how I saved a lot of money, guys. I was able to save $20,000 by the time I was 21. I'm 22 now. I'm trying to do what I have to do, hustle, make sure, especially in this quarantine time, I'm trying to make sure I get paid because I got goals. I gotta move on up. Another thing, just make sure that you're not too crazy. I think at times I was kind of too crazy with the budget and like didn't even want to spend on myself. And I'm like, almost the thing you want to buy is like a new car or something that's gonna really severely put a dent in your goals and your finances. I would say you can get it. Like for me, it was a lot of makeup and skincare and things like that. So I was like, let me just, $20 here isn't terrible. Like, it's not the worst thing. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It won't set me back a whole bunch of money. And overall, just make sure you're not too hard on yourself. It can be really hard and really difficult to really discipline yourself and to even develop the mindset, like officially to say, I'm gonna save this money. So for me, I wanted to do a couple of things, like make sure I paid off my loans and also do a whole bunch of trips. And I did do a whole bunch of trips my senior year. By the time I was 21, I was going to Miami, I went to Jamaica, went to Paris, I went to London. It was a beautiful thing. And that was for me. And so, I mean, I did all those things, super awesome. I was able to save the money. The majority of the money is gone now, but I saved it for that purpose, right? So I just wanted to make a quick video to show y'all how I made that much money, how I saved that much money, how I retained that much money. I would highly suggest you guys look at my tips and tricks. Hopefully it works for you. It did for me, and I was able to go to all these places. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this was very helpful. All right, bye guys.